Hello, everyone. My name is Richa Sharma. I'm a stroke neurologist at Yale New Haven Hospital. And along with my colleague Ho-Jun Lee, I would like to present Stroke Classifier, an automated EHR-based ischemic stroke etiology classification system. Every year, there are more than 600,000 ischemic strokes in the U.S., and at least a quarter are in people who already have had a prior stroke. Among stroke survivors, another stroke can lead to death or further disability. There are many different causes or etiologies of stroke. Up to 40% of strokes are considered to be cryptogenic, which means no cause is identified after evaluation. The rate of these patients having another stroke is as high as 20%, nearly twofold times higher than in patients with a known cause of stroke. If we can identify the cause of stroke, we can administer targeted evidence-based therapies such as blood thinners and carotid revascularization procedures that are proven to reduce the risk of another stroke from that specific etiology. However, these treatments are significantly underutilized both in the US and globally. There are several reasons why secondary stroke prevention therapies are currently underused. First, there may be uncertainty regarding the cause of stroke, which requires synthesis of a large amount of complex data from a stroke hospitalization. Secondly, there's a shortage of stroke expertise. Only 1 in 6 stroke patients in the US is treated by a board-certified vascular neurologist. Finally, clinicians may be slow to implement guideline-recommended therapies for specific causes of stroke without prompting. To optimize the use of secondary stroke prevention, we developed and validated an automated clinical decision support tool, Stroke Classifier, which classifies the underlying cause of stroke as accurately as vascular neurologists and can resolve diagnostic uncertainty in patients deemed to be cryptogenic by vascular neurologists. This tool analyzes EHR data and provides a predicted cause of stroke as well as guideline-directed therapy recommendations. Stroke Classifier was trained on over 2,000 discharge summaries from ischemic stroke hospitalizations at 2 large academic comprehensive stroke centers. We tasked machine learning classifiers to predict the cause of stroke as determined by a consensus of 2 or more board-certified vascular neurologists who reviewed the entire medical record. Using natural language processing, we engineered over 2,000 clinical, radiographic, and laboratory features and built an ensemble model of 9 machine learning classifiers. We performed multiple cross-validations and externally validated the algorithm in the MIMIC3 dataset. The output of Stroke Classifier is an automatically generated recommendation report that lists the predicted stroke etiology and guideline-recommended therapy. It also lists other risk factors for stroke for the individual patient and interventions to consider implementing. Finally, it pinpoints any gaps in diagnostic testing. This report can be placed as a progress report in the EHR to be informative but not intrusive in a clinician's workflow. Furthermore, it is adaptable to multiple different EHR systems. In terms of added value, Stroke Classifier rivaled vascular neurologists with an accuracy rate of 75% internally and 69% externally. As a comparator, a trained data abstractor for the Get With the Guidelines stroke registry at Yale has an accuracy rate of 57%, while a non-vascular neurologist at Yale had an accuracy rate of 56%. Furthermore, when applied to the EHR of patients deemed to have a cryptogenic stroke by vascular neurologists, Stroke Classifier predicts a specific etiology in 73% of cases. This indicates a potential advantage of Stroke Classifier to process, analyze, and find patterns in high-dimensional data generated during the stroke hospitalization in patients otherwise determined to be cryptogenic by human vascular neurologists. Stroke Classifier takes into account more than 2,000 different clinical, radiographic, and laboratory features to generate its prediction with varying weights for each predicted etiology. Here are the top 10 most predictive features, which mirror factors I regularly use and other board-certified vascular neurologists use when diagnosing the cause of stroke. While there are currently AI products used in the field of stroke, their sole purpose is to help clinicians, such as myself, administer therapies to abort an ongoing stroke. Stroke Classifier is the only automated tool for secondary stroke prevention. The annual cost that hospitals currently pay for stroke expertise ranges from $5,000 to $25,000 for rapid AI and telestroke, up to $195,000 for the salary of a vascular neurologist, amounting to a lower end of nearly $28 million from the 5,500 hospitals in the U.S. We will be able to charge an annual subscription fee comparable to existing stroke solutions and potentially provide cost savings from labor reduction. We next plan to test Stroke Classifier's clinical utility in a multi-center clinical trial, and the Blavatnik funding would be used to support the effort of a data scientist to integrate Stroke Classifier in the Yale New Haven Health System EPIC. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. That's a great job. I think you were getting to a little bit at the end there, but could you just maybe talk a little bit about the business model and how it would sort of incorporate into how a hospital would make this purchase decision?
Absolutely. So currently, hospitals utilize external stroke expertise to provide guidance to local hospitals without on-site local neurologists about whom to treat with TPA, whom to treat with thrombectomy. And it's on a basis of an annual subscription fee to Rapid AI and Viz AI. And we would envision that this would be a similar annual subscription fee.
You compared your effectiveness to an actual person, but what about the other, digital solutions? How do you compare to them?
The other digital solutions have a completely different purpose. Those solutions look at imaging, CT, CTA, MRI, in real time to determine how much of a brain is dead and how much is potentially salvable to determine that this particular patient is a very good candidate for clot removal. So that's in the acute phase where we're trying to save brain by aborting the stroke. This is to prevent stroke. And there's no such solution on the market.
Nobody else is looking at medical records to predict stroke?
To predict stroke etiology. We have a provisional patent.
It's really interesting to see the amount of cryptogenic that can be potentially diagnosed. What level of accuracy do you think you need to change management, right? There's one thing to say, we don't know what it is, so we're going to watch and wait, versus we're going to now prescribe something new, which could have negative side effects if we're wrong.
Absolutely. And so I think that's the next level, next phase of our study is to truly identify among those who we deem to be non-cryptogenic based on our algorithm with long-term follow-up, how many of them are converting. And so I think that would be very informative information.
Thank you for a good presentation. What about the regulatory path? Has that been cleared out for you? I mean, if you're both doing diagnosis, risk scores, and treatment guidance, so how will that look like?
That's a very good question, and one I haven't even considered at the moment, and it would require some guidance from legal and Yale Ventures to really outline what that would look like.
Quick question, maybe, if we have time. So the data you're gathering is from here?
So it's from Yale New Haven Hospital, Massachusetts General Hospital, and then Beth Israel Medical Center in Boston, which has publicly available data.
Okay. And do you foresee that you need to expand that data set and get more? Okay.
We have just had our IRB approved through the Veterans Affairs Medical Center, which is comprised of over 100 hospitals. And so I think we're very interested in seeing the generalizability of our algorithm and to iteratively improve it.
Thank you.
Thank you.